You know, oh, Lagos, like I said, it's going to be a great conversation this evening on the marketplace. And oh, I love the hospitality industry. However, today on the marketplace, we'll be taking a look at the hospitality industry and hey, looking at Nigeria's economy, which is well, it economy with a lot of service that is being rendered in this space. And my guest who will be shedding more light on this is Adegbe Ogbeh. He is the managing partner at Lounge One. And hey, Adegbe is actually a trained lawyer. He's an idea enthusiast. He's a public sector hospitality expert with 2 decades of experience founding, growing, and moving businesses across Nigeria. So he's not a small, it's not small fit he's been in this space. And if I were you now, especially for the ladies, okay, sorry, I'm doing this. Adegbe, I don't know if you're married, but ladies, he's eye
I
candy. So if you want to see how it looks like, I know. Hey, but my guests are always looking good. So if you want to see how it looks, how my guest looks, what you can do is go to YouTube, the youtube.com/ smooth 981 FM Lagos, and you can actually get an insight into how my guest looks. Okay. Someone says, I'm marketing you. Sorry, he's taking.
am.
Okay. He's
Yes,
taking.
please,
So
please.
calm down, Lagos. Calm down. Okay, David, good to have you here, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Let's get into this industry, especially when it comes to oh, we have lots of things to say when hospitality sector is concerned. But how do we
Mhm.
even properly categorize the hospitality sector? Would you say it's an essential service or a leisure service?
That's a really good question. I know everybody starts with that's a really good question. It's a leisure service. It's a leisure
Oh,
service, but it's increasingly critical. Um, and I say this because at the core of hospitality is escape, right? What you're
okay.
selling is escape, whether you're escaping for a few minutes, a few hours, a couple of days at a hotel, a week at a resort, whatever aspect of hospitality you're dealing with, it's leisure, but that leisure is increasingly critical to how humans escape from having to provide certain services or products
Mm,
for themselves. So the short answer is that it is a leisure service, but it's
right.
increasingly critical.
That is awesome. Good to so it's a both bit of both.
Yes,
And
but
we're
it's
married.
leisure fundamentally.
And I like the
Yeah.
how we're managing it right now in Nigeria. So it is good.
Mhm.
Um, well, I know there's more to be done in that sector. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to leave it where it is. But
Yeah.
if I had to ask, is the hospitality sector more closely linked with the entertainment angle, or would you say it's more around the tourism sector than any other sector generally?
So I think traditionally hospitality was very much around um, entertainment, right?
Okay.
Tourism is, of course, it's literally a subsector of its own, but at the core of so many industries now is hospitality.
Mm,
Increasingly, in a more camera-aware world, in a more
true.
in a world where industries try to differentiate themselves, hospitality is now a core function of everything from banking to schools to at every point they're trying to find a way to cater to the softer side. So you're hearing more and more the phrase VIP, right? You're hearing that a lot more in whatever business you're doing. They say, oh, wait in the green room, wait in the VIP room. So in that sense, entertainment and tourism, of course, that's hospitality because we're thinking on the currency of food, drinks, music, your hotel rooms, travel. So that is the obvious hospitality. However, more and more, hospitality is baked into everything that you can't escape it. Even if three people are selling gala on the bridge, one of them is trying to find a way to give you an edge, something a little bit just to give you a bit more hospitality. So they say, let me open your bottle for you. So, yeah, so you would ask, so that's the
Mm,
extra hospitality that they're providing in that moment when they're selling you gala and lacasera, for instance. So the hospitality
mm.
is everywhere now. Yeah.
I like that. And talking about that, I've actually seen where someone is even with selling sachet water on the road. I've seen where certain people are trying to make it even more appealing. It's not just, oh, okay, I have a bottle of water, take the bottle of water. I want to buy, but they will make you want that particular brand. They may
Correct.
have several, but they will sell you one that you would think that one is the water of life, more or
It's the only
less.
way. Yeah.
So I think that is the way to go. However, with our hospitality sector, right, was trying to see how it grows in leaps and bounds. And
Uh-huh.
take, for instance, we're talking right now about having a new state. If that were to pan out, uh,
Uh-huh.
and they're looking at, oh, okay, we want people to come to so and so state. What is the way to go? So they want to build a hospitality sector from the ground up. What will be the essential building blocks that they will need to have in place to make sure that they have the right people coming there, they have the right attraction. It's not just hotels or shotlets or what exactly will be the selling point for people to want to go there?
Uh, so I think two things, law and security, right? It doesn't sound
Okay.
terribly exciting, but if you have the laws in place, I know. So some of the best things that we do in business, hospitality, or otherwise, they're not terribly
Mhm.
exciting. So you're looking for the right
Okay.
laws. You're looking for the laws that
Mm,
say, if you come in here, you have tax laws, you have protection laws, you have
right.
regulatory compliance, you have the things that make this entire process easier for anyone to come in and take up this line of business. They may not be
Mm,
extending the same courtesy to someone who wants to sell cement or electricity. So the
okay.
laws will be important, and immediately after that would be followed by security. If people want to truly relax, it starts from feeling like I can
I'm
get
safe.
out of, yes, I can get out of where I'm staying, enjoy the city, enjoy the town, enjoy whatever
Mm,
amenities, and get back, not worry about my safety, whether it's me, my partner, my children, my relatives. So I would say I would start there. Um, at a slightly higher level, because often we forget that hospitality is, most people enjoy it at a very basic level, right? Food and drink.
right, right, right.
Yes, we always think of hospitality in these, slightly
In,
larger terms. Yes, you think about a very nice place and very nice drinks, but people enjoy hospitality after work. They go have a cold beer, have some suya, go home.
right.
And that's hospitality at its most basic form. So immediately after that, I would say a degree of regulation, but not too much. And that regulation would come,
Mm,
yes, in terms of how can I make sure that the consumer is safe? Okay,
okay.
so yeah, so America has taken this very far where they come and inspect your kitchens. You have to have double sinks, you have to have source of water. But I think that if you are building a new state, you
Right,
would, if you start from the beginning, so people know a kitchen has to be this size, you need to have fire extinguishers, you need to have double exits, you need to have
right.
a minimum of two toilets per gender, in any establishment you open, then those things would become the norm for anyone coming in. So certainly the law, then definitely physical safety, and then some degree of regulatory compliance would be excellent to have the new state that's focused on hospitality.
I absolutely love how you've put it because, yeah, when you go into some certain places, you expect a 5 star. It's usually rated 5 star, but
Mhm.
by the time you get in, you're like, okay, are you sure this rating is right? But
Yes, so the back end doesn't match the front end, and there's a number of factors for that. Even in the most developed societies, there's
true,
often
true,
a
true.
disconnect. Yes, but if you to answer that question, I would say yes. I would start with those three. Then, of course, people would tell you things like create a separate part of town for them and all that and all that. But
Right.
at the bare minimum, especially in this economy, especially knowing how we operate, I would say those three would be important.
Thank you so much for that insight.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
more so, you being a player in the sector, how have you navigated your business? And I'm talking about the fuel subsidy, the whole exchange rate. I know that certain people have moved their businesses, moved out completely, while some are still struggling to meet it's not the regulations, certain things, requirements that they need to have their businesses up and running. Some have run down completely.
Mhm.
How have you been able to navigate with all the craziness that is Nigeria?
So, personally, we've obviously had to make serious adjustments. I think the most serious adjustment is we're not opening for as many days as we used to, right? As a business person, you must be
Okay.
nimble. So a lot of places that we're doing, Monday to Saturday or Tuesday to Sunday and using Monday as a
Mhm.
cleanup day or a rest day, you find it
Mhm.
taking Monday and Tuesday out of the equation completely, right?
Okay.
So there's Wednesday all the way up to Sunday if you must. If you are a hotel, for instance, or you sell food, that's a trickier. You can't tell people as a hotel you don't open on Monday. Doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So for us, obviously, if we're being absolutely honest, that cost has moved down to the consumer. So what's happened
Okay.
is that you've had to find more cost-effective brands to partner with.
Okay.
Maybe people can't afford a product that was 200,000 naira before is now 500,000 naira, maybe. So you find a middle ground between their taste buds and their finances.
Okay.
Secondly, I think something else that a lot of people have done is just be more clever with their power consumption. So you're seeing a lot of people adapting a hybrid energy solution, which is now not just NEPA or the state's power and generators, but solar, right? So
Awesome.
I have a friend, for instance, who has a hotel, and he says one side of the hotel functions until the hotel is full. The other side is asleep. It doesn't consume any power. So that side, so if he has three
Okay.
customers, for instance, or three guests, yes, that side of the hotel is there's power.
Active.
If
Right.
yes, yes. If you look on the other side, the air conditioners aren't on, the fridges aren't on. It's just lights, just electricity.
Just to, yeah.
Yeah, just like the inverter is on.
Right.
Yes. So in terms of those two things, the subsidy, and I will say one more thing.
Okay.
Custom duties have terribly impacted imported items. There's
Mm,
nothing you can do about that. Yes. So you really are in it's a lot of businesses fail anyway in hospitality, but now
right.
it's quite a struggle. But again, there was a time when a bottle of Coke was 50 kobo, right? So
That
so
was so way back.
that was maybe 3 decades ago, right? And if you had told them at the
Yeah.
time that it would be 100 naira, they say it's impossible. But you can walk into establishments in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, a bottle of Coke is 2,000 naira, it's 1,500 naira. So the market always adjusts. It has to adjust its tastes, and the owners have to adjust the service offering. It's still a good business. It's just you need to increase price, obviously, and then you have to just adjust the offering. There's no choice. There's nothing we can do about that.
All right, Lagos, you're still tuned into the marketplace. And yes, we're talking about the hospitality sector today. My guest joining me, sharing insights on how this works, is Adegbe Ogbeh. However, we're going to take a quick breather. Why don't you come back? We'll be talking about grading. And what do I mean? As you have band A, when A, B, C, when it comes to power, we'll also be talking a bit about how we get to figure out who is on the band A, B, and C when it comes to service. But as always, you want to stay here to Smooth 98.1.
All right.
Right. We'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
But so far, loving the conversation, loving the insight.
Okay.
I
Okay. I'm always worried about speaking too long and answering questions, and they're all speaking too short.
no. It's We're vibing. That's so for
All
me,
right,
it's not
good,
just
good,
about
good.
answering the question. It's about okay, so getting the right information and how he actually it truly is, as opposed to just giving answers. It's more about the
Right, right,
conversation.
right, right, right.
Right. So that's it for me. But thank you so
Eh,
much as always.
And thank you for having me. We are certainly going to have more conversations. It's something I'll speak about later. That inversely, in a battered economy, you know how you hear how religion and lotteries do well. Hospitality oddly does well in a battered economy once they've recovered from the first shock. Once they've
Hmm.
recovered from the price jump, they need hospitality because they need to escape. Real life is simply overwhelming. So forget, Zaza or PayPal, or, because I have a few bars. I have a bar and a club in Abuja. Forget
Okay.
those. Forget the high end. Just the ability to escape with your friends, have a drink and a meal. It
Right.
doesn't mean you may not have your rent. You may be owing someone 2 million, but you can't even post the pictures because how dare you eat? How dare
God,
you
they
have
will
a
come
drink when you're
for
owing
you.
me? Yeah. So what happens is the sector thrives because people are they're at the edge. So they need to step off the edge, escape into whatever entertainment there is, whether it's not the more savory forms of entertainment. They need to do that,
Okay.
right? Or yes, or they just need a shawarma, right? And I think shawarma is now about 8,000 naira.
Right.
Yes.
Huh?
Now someone will say, but you have only 60K. How could you take 10% of that to eat a
Yeah, we
shawarma?
eat now. Tomorrow we
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah, and you often hear the Nigerian phrase, which is one, I can't come and kill myself, or two, problem no they finish.
See, problem, no, they finish. But let's go
Right.
back in.
So basically that's it. Yeah.
All right, Lagos, 33 minutes gone past five. You tune into the marketplace. And today, like I said, we've been talking about the state of hospitality and service sector here in Nigeria. My guest who's still with me is Adegbe Ogbeh, and he's been sharing some great insights. If you are in this business, kudos to you and all you do, because it's not an easy one to run. And I know that we've been talking behind the scenes about certain things. See, if you don't have us on your YouTube channel, you're missing out a lot. The gist, the extra gist and juicy stuff is usually behind the scenes. I'll not say more than that. Anyways, let's get back into the conversation. How about if you have any contributions you'd like to make as well? Hey, come through 0809 4440981. That is the number on WhatsApp you want to share your thoughts, and it is always welcome. Okay, now let's talk about like I said, I had given the analogy of how we have our regular power sector. We have the band A, band with a band aid. I will never forget that because sometimes you have that, you're on that power and you're like, but I'm paying, I'm not saying that. Well, Joy, calm down. Let's not get started with our power sector. Let's even talk about how it is for the service industry now. This hospitality industry. Is the band A service level working for players in the sector, especially when it comes to the high electricity needs? I know you said some people have worked in uh, solar to work out for them, but that is on one angle. I'm now looking at also with the way it's been rated. Can you also, in a way, mix both and let's see how that works? How do we even get to rate who's on band A, who's band B, who's band C? How do we work that? I'm not talking about just the electricity right now. I'm talking about the service. How do we even get to figure out, okay, so I want to get some great quality service. And I'm looking at
Right.
certain people have been rated as band A, some have been rated as band B, some have been rated as band C. How do we get to work our way around that and know, okay, so it's not just that I'm paying for a service that isn't as it is, like you've said, or even in other climes, they also do that. But how do we get to differentiate, like, okay, I'm doing I'm getting what I'm paying for.
So two things very quickly. The market, word of mouth. The market is always a great reference point. Whatever
Okay.
our personal tastes are, the market will always tell you that's a great restaurant, they make great food. Now, great food doesn't necessarily mean great price. And that's two ways. That's two ways,
Okay.
right?
All
So
right.
when I
All
say great
right.
price, right? So the price might be terrible in terms of what you're paying, and you're like, this is too expensive, but the food is good. You can also pay a more moderate fee and still find that the food is amazing.
Okay.
Typically, what we're paying for, what you in terms of what we call grade A, is we're paying for location and our fellow
Mm,
consumers.
mm,
Okay,
mm,
so where am I
mm.
eating? Am I eating in the heart of the most expensive district where I am? Have
Right.
these people set out to discourage a certain market segment by saying, look, we want to only cater to people who can
Cater for.
pay, yeah, who can pay $100 for a meal. $100 is about
Right.
152,000 today, right?
Yes.
Or do I want to make great amala
Mm,
and cater to, yes, and cater to 500 people? Now, even
mm.
even where they sell amala, they will tell you that amala is the best amala. They'll tell
Obviously.
you. Yes, and this is again back to word of mouth. So grading typically occurs, the market grades you, your service, your
Okay.
ambience, your food, your drinks, your safety, your security. I'm co-owner of two places here in Abuja as well, a bar called Paper and a smaller bar called Noon. And when we
Okay.
started Paper, one of our first service offerings was we wanted to make it friendly for women, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so one of the first instructions to our security, which was a bit new at the time, was look,
Let the women
you
in.
cannot, yeah, you can't turn a woman back. You can't tell me because she didn't come with a man or she didn't, like, if she's coming in, she's coming in,
Right.
right?
Right.
Right. And second of all, we were maybe not the only ones, but one of the early pioneers of female only DJs, right? So it was just a sell
Oh,
point.
okay.
Yes, it was a sell point 5 years ago. But in the
Mm.
end, hospitality outlets will be graded by the market. The market, and the more sophisticated the market, the harder it is to lie to them with high prices and great decor. You will not get away with that in Lagos, for instance. You will not get away
Oh,
with that in New York. You will not get away with that in Dubai. You will be sussed out beyond the first month or so. People will be like, the service doesn't match the price. So
ah,
truly, I think the highest rated places need a B in most sectors to be accepted as
okay.
an A overall. Yes. So I would say that's the grading. But again, remember, there's great Amala spots with no air conditioning, no nothing. And in Amala circles, they are grade A. So it's really relative to your palate and what you're looking for.
Very well put. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
the Amala connoisseurs will agree with you on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, they know, they know, they know. They're like, yeah,
They
yeah, the
know the
best Amala
spots.
is, yeah, it's behind that other place. Yeah, so yeah, and that's a more accessible form of hospitality for so many people. We always think of hospitality this high flying. I was in a plane and I
Mm,
took a picture by the water. I was in Zanzibar, but the day-to-day hospitality is probably where you get the measure. 100 people are selling Fanta and bread, agege bread. Why does everybody buy from one person? You have to ask why.
right?
Right. So
Right.
it's a number, yeah, it's a number of factors. Service, the taste of her bread, maybe she has a way of attending to people, maybe she sings, maybe her tables are comfortable. There's so many factors when it comes to grading where you're going to, but in the end, the market will tell you, and the market will
Mm.
tell you quickly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. But what is the
You're
greatest,
welcome.
or would I say the largest input cost to the hospitality sector, considering hotels, restaurants, and for them or the ability to actually stay open?
So it seems like it's electricity, right? So as
Okay.
far as the last metric was done, electricity direct from, I'll still use NEPA, indulge me,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
your
So,
provider. Yeah, from your provider is still the cheapest form of power. It's slightly cheaper than diesel. Okay.
oh,
But
okay.
remember that there's still hundreds of thousands of petrol generators.
Mm,
Okay. At the
mm,
smallest, just a small business
yeah.
that just needs, yeah, right. So I still think it's power. But if you look at say a slightly more expensive location that's paying 20 million in rent. If you divide
Mm,
that by every operational day, you will land somewhere around 50 something thousand naira a day. So what's, what are you exactly? It's not so straightforward. It's not so
right,
straightforward. So I
right.
think it's power, but potentially, depending on where you are, your rent can be a close second expense. It's usually not wages for Nigeria. It's typically
Okay.
power and maybe just after rent. And then, of course, the utilities are always just crazy. Something is always going wrong. Yeah,
And
yeah,
now,
yeah.
eh, but I'm not even going to touch it because when it comes to the hospitality industry, it seems like everybody says Lagos is the it place to be, especially when the IJJVs get back into town. Dirty December is loading.
Yes, it is.
So, is it accurate to say that Lagos is it when it comes to hospitality, or have we also started making other parts of the country viable?
Lagos is the leader. I mean, Lagos is the leader in West Africa. So forget Lagos, right? Forget
Okay.
Nigeria, Lagos, yeah, because there's a number of things happening there. One is just a culture of hospitality. It's
Okay.
just the culture is there to entertain themselves. Secondly, you're talking financial power. The financial power is in Lagos as an economic size to cater to the extras beyond,
Mm,
food, clothing, and accommodation. There's
mhm.
room for a bit more. And then lastly, of course, you're looking at population size. Lagos is huge. Last time, 28 million, 29 million. I don't know what it is now. So you can't compete with Lagos. Just there's nothing you can do. Also, you're looking at probably one of the most socially exposed parts of the country.
Okay.
So these are people who have traveled extensively over the years, who know what it is to be all over the world. So they know they understand completely what it looks like outside of the world, and they're able to copy closely. So because of that close copy, and because
Right.
Lagos it's a fairly sophisticated palate. So they know, yeah, no, can we have so and so type of fish? I had it in Japan and whatnot. So
Yeah.
yeah, but is the rest is the rest of the country trying to keep up? Of course, because
Oh, yes.
anywhere humans are gathered, they must escape. They must
Mm,
escape their day-to-day rigors. So everywhere in the country has an element of hospitality, but Lagos is the
right.
market leader. Hotel rooms,
Okay.
restaurants, bars, service centers, airlines, air traffic. You simply cannot compete. Lagos is a country on its own. If you want to look at those numbers. So
Mm.
Calabar is there, Abuja is there, Port Harcourt is there. Abuja has certainly grown in the
Oh,
last
yes.
post-COVID. Yes, before COVID, we were kind of static, but post-COVID, we've suddenly
It's
seen
also
a
picked up.
huge leap. Yes, we've seen a significant. Calabar is there is beautiful as well for a different type of hospitality. Very
Right.
warm, very welcoming people. Yes, Joss is there. Maybe
Oof.
not what it
Not.
used to be, but yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But Joss is there. Again, a reflection of the people, the quality of the people in
Okay.
welcoming you to their town and providing a degree of service. I would say Joss and Calabar are there as well. And of course, you have of course, you have right there, just above Lagos, Ibadan as well. Some of the great chefs in Nigeria right there. So Nigeria is,
Hey.
yeah, 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 of course. And if you're able to get to Kano, people don't know this, but
Oof. It's a very
there's a,
beautiful sand
yeah,
dune.
girls. Yes, Kano is offering
Anyways.
you some great hospitality, great hotels, and great room rates. So it's not as expensive as Lagos. So it depends on what you're looking for.
Looking out for. But
Mm.
yeah, time is never a friend when we're having great
No, it's
conversations.
not.
I honestly don't want to let you go, but before I let you go, what's your outlook for the hospitality sector as we head into towards the end of 2025? How do you see it panning out?
I think we pick up in 2026 once we've absorbed the shocks of 2025. I think we pick back up. I think also you're going to have at the top end of the market more curated experiences because only you can only sell food, drinks, loud music, and dancers for so long. The market wants a little bit more. So you're going to see
Indeed.
increasingly curated experiences. Some may seem bizarre, but the market will
Mm,
tell you if it's good. In the on the accommodation side, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of smaller pod style hotels, sleep
okay.
and go. So basically, I'm trying to take a property that would have had 10 rooms before, and I'm trying to give you 15 rooms. So almost a Japanese style where it's to be able to sleep and to leave, not necessarily for that
Leave
luxury.
there for that.
Because
Okay.
yes, yes. So I think you're seeing those, but I think the market will recover in 2026. We're predicted to grow by another. They said another 2 point something million dollars. They said we're going to add another 2,300 rooms. These are
Mm-hmm.
projections. I don't know, but
All right.
I do see a recovery in 2026. There's a bit of a slump now, but I see a recovery in
Okay.
2026.
Awesome. Awesome. All
Mm.
right. Fingers crossed. And
Yes, amen.
hopefully, all the monies that we hope come into the sector, including how the government tend to help it grow, but we'll not. Sorry, I know we didn't touch that. Like I said, too many conversations we could have had, but very little time. But here's the thing I'd like to ask. How can any listener right now who's looking at, okay, so I've heard him, I've heard what Adegbe has said, and I want to tap into that industry. How can I reach out to you on your social media handle?
Adegbe O. So my name, the first letter of my surname, Adegbe O, is my handle
Okay.
on almost everything from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram. So you can reach me there, Adegbe O. So yeah, my DMs are there.
All right. All right, Lagos. I'm sure you've enjoyed that conversation as much as I have. However, you can definitely reach out to Adegbe O on any of his social media handles and any questions you have. Best believe he will address them as you go. But that's all the much we can take today on Marketplace. It's been a great conversation, but you know what to do. Don't touch that dial. More music and great conversation lined up for your listening pleasure here on Smooth 98.1.